I've spent most of my time in the finals playing medium, but for the next 7 days, only using the light class. And if I'm being honest, this might have been a terrible idea, because right now, I really have no idea how to play this class. You see, medium lets me survive more mistakes, bit more health, but light doesn't. One bad push, one missed shot, and I'm gone. So for the next 7 days, I can't switch back, and I have to prove I've actually improved. Now, day one was rough. I went in thinking it couldn't be that different. It was. I kept taking fights I'd normally win on medium and just get deleted. Turns out, running straight at people with light class isn't the move. I had no position and no patience, and my aim wasn't exactly helping either. Now at this point, I was starting to realise this wasn't just a different loadout, it's a completely different playstyle. And if I didn't change fast, this 7-day challenge was going to be painful. Now day 2 didn't get much better, but I started noticing why I was losing fights. I was taking fair fights. And with light class, you don't win fair fights. The only time I actually got a kill was when I caught someone off guard. So I tried slowing things down, playing angles, picking fights, and getting out before things went wrong. It still wasn't clean, but for the first time, it felt like I might actually be figuring something out. Over the next few days, things started to click. So by day 3, I stopped playing light like I would normally with medium, and honestly, that started to change everything, because instead of forcing every fight, I started looking for advantages before the fight even started. Better positioning, smarter openings, and actually using my gadgets with a plan for once. Before this, I was basically panic using everything. Now, I was using my gadgets to control fights instead of just to try and get away and survive them. And the more I played, the faster everything started to feel. My decision making got way faster, and I also stopped hesitating as much. And I started to finally trust my movement more. A few days earlier, there was no way I could survive this. I also started realising that most fights were being decided before the shoot had even started. If I got the better angle first, used movement properly, and picked the right moment to engage, fights suddenly felt way easier. And for the first time during this challenge, I actually felt a little bit dangerous. A little bit. Don't get me wrong though, I was definitely still throwing fights. But now, even when things went wrong, I could react faster instead of panicking instantly. And honestly, that was probably the biggest improvement. By the end of day 5, the class finally started feeling natural. Not easy, but natural. I wasn't overthinking every movement anymore. I could just focus on reading fights, taking smarter routes, and picking players apart way faster than I could in day 1. The confidence was finally there, and once that happened, kills started stacking up. Now at this point, I generally started thinking I could pull this challenge off. But there was still one thing left to prove. Could I actually perform when the pressure got higher? Because day 7 was going to be the real test. Now up to this point, I've mostly been focused on getting kills and improving mechanically, but ranked forced me to think completely different. I started realising that being a good light player wasn't just about fragging out all the time. It was about helping the team win fights, staying alive more, helping teammates out when they were under pressure, and knowing when to not take the fight. Learning when to disengage was probably one of the hardest challenges for me, because coming from medium, I was used to staying in fights way longer, but in ranked and also playing light, if I died early, we could just lose the cash out. So, instead of forcing every kill, I started focusing way more on keeping pressure off my teammates, and making sure we could actually hold cash outs. Once I stopped chasing clips every second, I actually started playing better. My positioning improved, my timing got better, and fights started feeling way more controlled instead of chaotic like it was in day 1. Now by day 7, I finally felt like I understood what light class was actually supposed to be. Fast enough to create the pressure, smart enough to survive, and annoying enough to completely ruin fights for the other team. Now if we look back to day 1, I feel like I'm a completely different player. Because back then, I was forcing every fight, I was overcommitting constantly and playing like I had way more health than I actually did. I was panicking using my gadgets, making them terrible pushes, and half the time I wasn't even thinking about where my team was or anything like that. But now, everything felt well more controlled. I knew how to engage a bit better, when to disengage and get out that fight, and also realising that staying alive a lot of the times was way more important than just getting that extra kill. Now which meant there was only one thing left to do. I had to put everything I've learned to the test one final day, and probably one of the hardest games of the entire challenge. So by day 7, I went into ranked games and I got put in with some Ruby and Diamond lobbies. The kind of players that punish every mistake instantly. And honestly, at the start of the week, I probably won the last 10 seconds in these fights. But now, I was actually competing a bit, winning some fights. Are you serious, bro? That's not where I wanted to put the gas, bro. Oh my god, you guys are getting some bait. Oh, crap. I was better at helping my team stay alive and finally understanding when to fight and when to back off. So in the end, I stopped playing late like it was all about kills, and I started playing around the team instead, staying alive for the cash outs, helping the teammates under the pressure, and creating openings instead of just focusing on fights constantly. And even though we ended up losing this game, the difference between and day one was honestly insane. A week earlier, I was panic pushing every fight, wasting my gadgets, and getting deleted almost instantly. But by the end of day 7, I finally felt like I understood how light class was supposed to be played. Not just fast, not just aggressive, but smart. And honestly, I still have a long way to go with this class, but compared to where I started, I improved way more than I expected. Honestly, this challenge completely changed how I look at the light class. Still got a lot to improve on though, but compared to day 1, I'll take it. Subscribe if you want to see more challenge videos like this one, and maybe next time, let me know what class or weapon I should do next.